Heirlooms are status symbols within Apex because they're pretty rare to get. But what are the rarest heirlooms in Apex, and do you own one? Because the results are actually pretty surprising now, especially for the rarest prestige skin. Well, for the rarest heirloom to ever touch Apex, I think it's obvious, because back in Season 15, Respawn released the Celestial Sunrise event, and this event is the only Apex event ever to have a non-mythic item as the quote-unquote heirloom reward. For the whole of Apex's life, bar this event, every time you fully buy out a collection event, you get an heirloom item as a reward, and in the Celestial Sunrise event, Respawn decided to experiment a bit with this item. Instead of adding an heirloom or a prestige skin as the final heirloom item, they added a reactive Peacekeeper recolor. This was extremely low effort. Seriously, it wasn't even a new reactive Peacekeeper, it was a recolor of the Season 3 Peacekeeper, which is so strange considering a few seasons in the future, they will create a new second R99 reactive for the Season 17 Battle Pass, so they put more effort into a Battle Pass skin than a $160 collection event reward. This collection event reward was extremely controversial as it was really low effort and also not worth the money at all. Like seriously, for $160, you could either get a confirmed heirloom or a reactive skin. The backlash hit Apex hard, and it hit them that hard. In the next season, Season 16, they had to confirm in developer interviews that they would never do this again. They would never sell a reactive skin in a collection event again. And they also said, if you have an issue with an item in the game, vote with your wallets. Essentially saying, if you don't want something to be in the game, don't buy it and we won't do it again. Which is why we never got a reactive skin in a collection event again. Although we have had them in milestone events since this event. And the thing that makes this the rarest quote-unquote heirloom in the game is the fact that it never came back to the game. Despite the game receiving a store dedicated to selling reactive recolors and a currency pretty much partly dedicated to buying reactive recolors, Respawn have still not re-released it to the game. So the only people who own this skin right now are the people who bought it when it came out in this controversial event that sold so badly, Respawn decided to never do it again. So by far, this is one of the rarest quote-unquote heirloom items, and also probably one of the rarest items overall in the game. At least Respawn figured out that mythic weapon skins do way better because people actually kind of like them. What about heirloom recolors though? Because I think these are arguably less popular than normal heirlooms, which we will touch on later, but there's actually a pretty clear rare heirloom recolor. And before I tell you why, you do have to consider that most people do get the heirlooms they want from events, like collection events. They buy out the whole event because they want the heirloom that is the final reward from the event. Which, if you know your heirloom recolor as well, it should make it clear which is the rarest heirloom recolor. The Crypto heirloom recolor. Despite it being a genuinely beautiful heirloom that I'd really love to have as a universal heirloom, this is wildly unpopular, and in my experience, I've never seen it in game. The reason it's so unpopular though is pretty strange because it's the only heirloom to have ever done this. This heirloom released with no warning, it released with no event, and Respawn just put it into the mythic shop for people to buy with shards. People had no other way to buy this heirloom, and there was literally no announcement, which was so damn strange. Originally, when Respawn released this to the mythic store, we thought it was a mistake and that it would get removed soon, but it never did, and an event that sold this heirloom never came out. So when we combine the fact that Crypto is pretty unpopular and hasn't really been popular for a very long time, the last time he got a bit of a popularity spike was when he got the invisible upgrade, and also the fact that this is only obtainable for heirloom shards, I think it's safe to say this is the rarest heirloom recolor, which really sucks by the way because this is an heirloom recolor with a finisher that looks absolutely beautiful, and the design is so intricate and beautiful and satisfying. If I were to guess, I would guess only about 20 people have bought this heirloom within the last few weeks. And I've been teasing it a bit. What is the rarest normal heirloom? Not universal heirloom, but legend specific heirloom, of which we haven't received a new one since Season 18. Well, it's actually pretty easy and pretty reliable to find the rarest legend specific heirloom, as all legend specific heirlooms come with an heirloom tier pose, and most people who get this heirloom tier pose do equip it so they can flex the heirloom, because that's the whole point, to flex their heirloom. So if we go over to Apex Legends status and go over to cosmetic stats and then go over to legend pose stats, we can find the least equipped heirloom pose. When we scroll down, we see several go past, and the most equipped heirloom pose is for Wraith, but when we get to the bottom, the least equipped heirloom pose is for Rampart. And honestly, this one's not particularly surprising either. Rampart has never really been a popular legend. The last time she had a popularity spike, in my opinion, was when she had the ability to wield her Sheila like a normal weapon. As if you're a new player, you may not realize, but Rampart was only originally able to place her Sheila on the ground and use it in a stationary position. So I think it's pretty clear cut that the rarest legend heirloom is Rampart, and once again, this makes sense. She's always been pretty unpopular, and a lot of people do regard her heirloom as very unnotable as well. Although, before we take a look at the rarest prestige skin, what is the rarest universal heirloom? Well, this one's actually pretty obvious. It's the Grrt, and technically with the Grrt, because it has so many combinations of pieces you can slot together, you can probably make your own rarest heirloom ever by creating your own unique combination that nobody else has. But without getting super technical like that, it's pretty obvious that the Nitrate Grrt is the rarest universal heirloom. This is because the Nitrate Grrt costs a lot of money to fully buy out. To unlock each of the 4 nitrate pieces to fully build the Nitrate Grrt, you have to buy out every other Grrt piece in that section. So if you wanted the Nitrate Blade, you'll have to buy the Cobalt Blade, the Electrum Blade, the Gladys Blade, the Molten Blade, and the Rhodium Blade, which will then unlock the Nitrate Blade. And then you have to repeat that process for the Theme slot, the Power Source slot, and that activation emote slot. So if you see somebody with a fully decked out Nitrate Grrt, you should probably ask them if you can have a bit of money, because they've probably got a lot. But if you do want to get super technical, there are thousands and thousands of variations of Grrt, and you could definitely make your own completely unique Grrt. So technically, the rarest heirloom will probably be your silly custom Grrt. You just have to spend a bit of money to be able to unlock the custom parts. For prestige skins though, which is the rarest prestige skin? When I guessed, I thought it would have been the Octane prestige skin, because in my opinion, it's the weakest one out of them all. It just looks incredibly boring to me. My second guess was the Mirage prestige skin, because nobody plays him, but surprisingly, it was neither of these. Well, Mirage was the second rarest, but let's not talk about that. Instead, once again, I used Apex Legends status, and this time their skins cosmetic stat page, and found out Apex Interceptor was the rarest prestige skin at a 0.084% equip rate. This means 0.084% of Valkyries will have their Apex Interceptor skin equipped. And honestly, this once again isn't really surprising. I feel like prestige skins are so hit or miss. Like the Valkyrie one, the Octane one, and the Altar ones to me are just incredibly bad and not worth the money. And in Altar's case, this skin from a recent battle pass is literally better than her couple $100 prestige skin. While legends like Mirage get some really awesome prestige skins. Seriously, this has some cool animations and a very bold visual style. So I'm not surprised that this is the least equipped prestige skin, and also I think prestige skins need some work, when 99% of the time they literally get mogged by the battle pass upgrade skins. Like, who in the right mind is picking this over this? My question to you though, do you own any of the items in this list? And also subscribe if you like videos like this.